Great. So, so we want to start. Today we have Ari with us.
Hey everyone.
And Ari is a cloud developer advocate for Microsoft. Um, this is part of the Hackorona Webinar. We're running the Hackorona Hackathon. It's a really cool hackathon, really viral hackathon. And we're really happy to have you here with us, Ari. So go ahead and introduce yourself, and the stage is yours.
Amazing. Thanks for that introduction. What I'm going to do, I hope everyone's okay with it. I'm going to start off just to started. So a little bit about myself. I am on the Microsoft advocacy team focused on AI and open source engineering. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about the Hackorona hackathon that's going to be starting tomorrow. And we're going to be going through some a project that I built and some of the offerings that we have that could be available for. So I'm going to be presenting today is called Corona Mask Detection. Essentially, it is a open source model that I developed for being able to do object detection on masks. The idea is if you're in a specific country where they have regulation where you need to have masks on a bus, like in Slovakia, or if you're in a hospital and you want to make sure and ensure that doctors are wearing masks, or if somebody didn't wear a mask and took it off, that you can know who was in that area and alert them, that's something that people can have readily accessible. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to walk you through the I built the data set, how I trained the model, and how to go and evaluate, export the model in TensorFlow.js so that you can integrate it into your own side JavaScript applications. Everything I've done today is open source and accessible. Out all the links after the stream. And with that, let's get started. So the tool, there are a couple different ways to go about this. One of the ways that you can go through is you can use a standard open source tooling. For instance, like the visual object tagging tool, so a VOT. And the first thing that we need to do is we need to create a data set. So this is VOT. This is open source project that essentially enables you to do annotation for object detection. In addition, open source, and then it formats it in all the standard libraries, whether that's Detectron or TensorFlow as TensorFlow records, so you can train. In addition to that, we have out-of-the-box services so that if you're not as experienced with frameworks like PyTorch or TensorFlow, you can still build these powerful object detection or computer vision models and integrate them directly into your own application flow. So for this session, I'm going to give a demo of the custom vision service, and we're going to go end to end. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to create a data set. And what I recommend is when you do this, make sure that any data set you create, that all the open domain. So the first thing that I did is I went to a couple different resources. I like using Pexels, which has free stock photos. I searched for face masks, and then I just downloaded a bunch of the different images that have face masks on. Only if you want another resource, you can just do a standard image search on Google for something like face mask. You can go to images. Bear with me with the internet for 5 seconds. But when we go to images, then what we can do is in the tools, and it's really important that you do that, check the usage rights, and you can say labeled for non-commercial reuse. And then here you can select images. So I did this and I built a data set of about 74 images. And then the next thing that we have to do is we have to create our first custom vision project. So the first thing that we do is we click new project. We just give it a name. So I'm going to call it face detector. We'll call it mask detector. It detects corona to link it to a resource, essentially on Azure, and everything that you're doing here you can do for free with we have a free link to set you up, and there's a free tier of the service, and everything that you do, it shouldn't cost you anything. Then the next thing that you want to do is you want to select your project type. We're going to be doing object detection. The difference between classification and object detection for people who don't have a background in computer vision. In classification, I give you multiple pictures and you want to know, is this a picture of a cat or a dog? Is this hot dog, not hot dog? Or in our case, is there a mask or not a mask? And you don't want to just have that classification label, but you want to also have a bounding box that tells you exactly where in the image the object is. And then the next thing that we can do is we set up a domain. So what I'm going to choose is the general compact. And the reason that I like choosing this domain is it enables me to export the models into each of the offline frameworks so that I can do local evaluation. So then the next thing we do is we just click create project. And now we just have to upload our images. So I'm going to take a handful of these images from before. We'll take, let's say, 7 of them. And I'm just going to upload these 8 files. Very, very simple. And now the next thing that we need to do is we need to annotate these images. So I'm going to create a tag. It's going to be called face mask. Very, very simple. And then what we can do is we go to the image and we just very, very simply select in each of the images the face masks. So you can use this tool or you can use the open source VOT tool that I showed you before. Full disclosure, I helped develop the open source tool. So I like that one, but this one is also strong. And we can just, again, very simply annotate these images. So we go. Again, very, very, very simple. Do a couple more of them. Face mask. All right, so now I'm done. And again, one more here. 1 second. Let's face mask. Okay, cool. And now once I've annotated, you'll see that all of these images are now tagged. All I have to do, it's very, very simple. I click the train button and I have a couple different options. So in advanced options, again, we won't use these because I don't think we need them for this type of project, but if you had a more complex project, you can control the amount of training time and compute you want to invest in the amount of iterations. We're going to do really quick, just a quick training. I see it's going to tell me I need 15 images. So what I'm going to do instead is I already have the data that I annotated before because I don't want to waste your time annotating 7 more images. You can see here, it's all the different images. And then when I want to train a model, we do the exact same thing. So we click here, click quick train, and what's going to happen is it will train the model. And what we can see is we can look at the model that we trained. So this usually takes about 5 minutes. The reason you saw that message before, it's because I already trained the model on this data. And you can see that we get pretty strong precision. We could probably improve this recall. And we have this mean average precision that's essentially a metric that measures how good the bounding boxes are. But what's really cool about this model is that I can relatively quickly take we can test it. We can go back here and we'll take an image that I haven't seen before. Second, I'm gonna go in and just copy the image address, make sure it's JPEG, back to our service. And you'll see that really simply with just like 70 images, we have pretty good, a pretty strong model on images that we've never seen before. So when I'm done with this, now that I have the model, we can put it into production. And so what I'll do is, one second, I'll show how to do that. So let's go here. And the way we do that is we click export. So we have a bunch of different options. If you're building a iOS application, you can export the model directly into Core ML. If we are working on Android, we can export TensorFlow. If we want a Windows application or an IoT application, or we want to run something in the cloud, we can also export it as a Docker container. What I'm going to do is I'm going to export it as TensorFlow JS. And what's really cool is, so now it's going to bundle up my model. Do is I click this, and as the internet loads, you'll see here that npm package, and I can immediately, with something like 5 lines of code, now from any JavaScript application. And the reason, again, I like TensorFlow JS, because instead of me now having to and host that model, the evaluations that are coming against me on my own compute, this runs on the edge. So instead, I can have almost a free hosted app. If we have an iOS application, it can run direct on the device. Minimum. And so again, done completely open source. I have walking through each of the steps that I showed you, explaining exactly how to do everything here, and as well as resources. We also have all the data trained here to integrate that into one of the projects you're building. And if you're doing other computer vision or NLP projects, feel free to reach out to me and I can help and point you into the in the correct direction with resources. So with that, I'm going to go back. And if you guys have any questions or anything, I'll open it up right now. I see that here on Facebook, you can leave comments. So feel free to ask any of the questions. I'll wait a couple minutes here, and then if not, we'll. I'm excited to see what you guys all built. Any any questions from anyone? All right, perfect. Idan, are you still here?
Yes, I'm here. So if there is no questions, and Ari, did you finish? Ari? Okay, I think we've got into networking issues. Let's try
Yeah,
again.
no
Ari?
worries.
Okay, okay. Great, we hear
Yes,
you.
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect. So,
Um, well,
d-
Ari, that's really awesome.
does anybody have any questions? If not, or is awesome. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that I hopefully these types of a face mask detector or some other computer vision model, NLP model, whatever you're going to be building. If you have questions, I have experience with these types of things. I'll be available, and just reach out LinkedIn, Facebook, or just message and bother Idan. And so with that, I think we're more or less covered
Do that.
everything.
Great, great. Ari, it was really, really, really cool to have you here with us. I think you're amazing. You're really awesome. One of our best CDAs for sure. Um, Thank you everyone for being here. We're having this Hackorona webinar every single day between Monday to Thursdays. We're gonna have the same structure next week and the following one. So make sure to join us. We're here. We want to hear your voice. If you want to present in the hackathon, that's also something you can do. So go ahead, check out our website, hackorona.in.dev. Join us, nominate for a session, and be here.
Perfect.
Again, if you want to also join our hackathon, that's also possible. Um, Register to the hackathon and come up with your own team. It's going to be really, really, really cool to have you with us. We already just passed the 900 registration, so congratulations for us. That's going very viral. So thank you everyone for coming, and we look forward to see you tomorrow.
Amazing. And Idan, just one last thing is that we'll post the link to the meeting post, and we'll make sure that it's sent out to everybody after this evening. All right. Perfect.
Great.
All right. Have a great one, guys.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.